I was definitely in a down, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to. And what am I going to say? And then I was like, no, this is like my opportunity to like really, she gave me like 2 weeks because Kerri's awesome. And I was like, okay, I'm going to like really hit it hard for 2 weeks. I'm going to get my motivation back. I'm going to like get my scheduling. We just got back from Summit, and it's like so different when you have all these things in your life that you have to do every day. And then you go to Summit and you get to like be by yourself, and you're not going to be like touched every second or like mom like every second. And it's amazing how much you actually can get done when you're by yourself. So then getting back from Summit, I kind of hit like a low because I really wanted to like come back and get it all done. And then all of a sudden I had these creatures of mine that needed me, right? And I like had to get back into real life. And so Summit's great, and these conferences are great. And if you can go to them, I highly encourage you to go to them. But after you get home, the reality check hits hard. And so thank you, Kerri, for asking, because it got my butt in gear. So thank you. Let's see. I have been coaching for about 15 months now. And when I first started coaching, I was like, sure, let's do this. And I didn't really know what I was doing or like anything. Michelle Katz, if you guys know Michelle, she is my upline coach, and she tried to train me, but I am like a one-step, like you tell me what to do, and I'll do that one thing. And when I want the next step, I'll come to you and you can send me the link or whatever. And so I didn't want to train the whole thing. I didn't really care about the compensation plan. I didn't really care. Even like last month, I didn't really know how the compensation plan was going on. I didn't really, she was like, you need to put your bank account information in. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I just kind of like did what she told me to do, and I trained one step at a time. And I'm not sure if that was the best way to do it or not, because as I got in, like my first year, I was always like, whoa, really? That's really cool. Like, we do this? Oh, that's really cool too. But it allowed me to like just keep everything new, right? I just had no idea. And so I kind of am always like, well, if I'm ignorant, then I didn't really know because I wasn't really trained, because I really told myself, I don't really need to be trained. So anyway, so that's kind of how I started. But and thank heavens, Michelle kind of knows everything about this business and she's always on. So I was able to shoot her questions. But I also think that you guys have the most amazing coach as well that knows everything about this business. And so props to our upline coaches that are able to train us really well, that we like know we can get the information that these people need. And so what was really great about me like needing, like just jumping in, is that when people asked questions, I had to go find out. And so I either asked or I just researched really quickly because that person needed to know. And so then I was able to learn as I jumped in. I think if I would have maybe done all of the training, I would have been too nervous. I think sometimes we overtrain or we overthink it. And then we watch all these videos and then we get overwhelmed, right? And so we are never starting. And so that's my other reason why I think, you know what? Take it one step at a time. I am doing this right now. I am just doing ads. You know, I'm going to add to my network, and that's all I'm doing for the next 20 minutes. And I'm just going to do that. And then that's going to check off, and I'm going to do the next thing. And I'm going to do my invites, and that's all I'm going to do. And if other things pop up, it doesn't matter. I'm just doing that step. Okay. So, I think, learning step by step instead of trying to get overwhelmed. Okay. So that's a little bit about me. I've been coaching for about 15 years. It's really weird that I'm just talking by myself. Like, I know you guys are listening, but it's really weird. Like, I want you guys to be like, yeah.
We're here, girl. We got you. Yes. Yes.
So, like, keep giving me thumbs up or something because
15 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Can we comment in the chat and cheer her on? Just like so she sees like interaction. Because it does suck to be talking to yourself and it's like she's a performer. She needs crowd feedback. Okay.
But I'm also like a teacher. And so, but I teach one-on-one. And so I'm really used to like getting that feedback and then like teaching through another, like getting feedback. So, anyway, it's weird. So if I'm weird, then that's the reason why. But hey, John, it was so good to meet you at Summit. And Bailey, I wanted to meet you at Summit. I don't know why we didn't meet, but you're like a rock star and I wanted to meet you and like do this because I've heard so much about you. Okay. So baby Bailey, awesome. I don't even see you, but anyway. Okay. So, consistency in the chaos. So I have like all the kids in the world. Well, I only have 3, but I have a dog and then I'm doing all of these things. My kids are I have a kid that's going into middle school and all of a sudden like being a chauffeur is like what I am. And I have to like sign them up for all these extracurricular things. And they're always wanting to do something and they're always bored. Anyway, so it's really important that we all have chaotic lives. I'm not trying to win the competition that I have most chaotic life in the world. I'm just trying to paint you a picture that it's every day, And so if I'm going to do this business, I have to create consistency, whether or not it's chaotic, whether or not I get in a massive car accident, my husband's gone to New York and all my kids are in the car and I have to get over it. And I still have to work this business. I still have goals that I want to achieve and I still have people that I want to help, and you can't do that by just falling apart and saying today was horrible and chaotic, because really there's always going to be something else that pops up.
Yes. Yes.
Always. Right? There's always going to be something else that's more important that pops up. And so you have to make the time. So these are the big lies / truths we tell ourselves in this business. Okay. And so we are either are we living our truth or are we living our lie? Okay. Number 1, you are your own boss. So that is a truth and a lie, because nobody is going to yell at you at the end of the day. If you are supposed to do 10 invites and you tell yourself, I'm going to do 10 invites and you don't, you're not going to be fired by yourself. You're not going to be fired. You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to punch your time clock in. No one's going to know whether you did your invites or not. People might know if you post on social media. So you post on social media, but unless you are actually doing the daily vitals, you're not going to further your business. So you are your own boss. Like we all signed up and we're like, woohoo, let's be our own boss. Let's not have anybody tell us what to do. But unless you are holding yourself to that standard of, if I'm going to succeed in this business, I have to do these things every day. And you are your boss. And you will yell at yourself, or you will not allow yourself to punch out of work before you do these things, then you're not going to further your business along. Okay. So it's a truth and a lie. Number 2, this is just a hobby of mine. Okay. So hobbies don't make any money, because if you're waiting, like I said, if you're waiting for the time, it's never going to come. So like, I love to scrapbook, and I also love to sew. But you could ask my kids how many sewing projects I have started that are now on the floor in my closet, or how many scrapbooks I have started. For my first child, I have like 10 scrapbooks. For my third child, I have coaching social media. I have my stories because I don't have time to scrapbook. I don't have time for my hobbies. And so, because you're always waiting for, well, if I have time. So if you treat this business like a hobby, then it won't be anything. That's kind of the hard truth or the hard lie that you're telling yourself. Okay. Also, I have ginormous hands. Do you see how ginormous they are?
You're beautiful.
I love them.
You're a baller.
Yep, I can fist a basketball. Okay. Okay, number 3 is I can choose my hours. That is the third big truth and lie. Because in my life, I don't get to choose sometimes. I don't get to choose. I have to make the time, and then I have to commit that time, and I have to tell my little monsters that I have to keep that time. Like, this is a call, and I got asked to lead this call. And yes, my little 4-year-old might come in. I've told her not to. And she might come in and she might get yelled at after the call. But she also understands that when mom is working, mom's working. And then mom can be a mom. So you can choose your hours. It's the truth. But if you let your life happen and then you're like, well, I'm going to choose, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. And, it's my choice and it's always up in the air. If you're going to choose the hours, you're going to put it in the schedule, you're going to make it happen. You just have to make it happen. And you have to be consistent with it. Whether, let's say you plan 2 hours and you get 1 hour and 15 minutes. Great. Okay. Life happens, whatever. But you did the 1 hour and 15 minutes. The next day, you still plan that 2 hours. And I think what happens is we get all gung-ho and everything, and we're going to make that schedule and we're going to keep it. And we have those 2 hours in the morning and we get that 2 hours and we get like 1 hour done. And we're like, yes, good, done. Something happens. Someone calls. We have an emergency. We have to go do it. And then the next day, we don't feel that fire. We don't feel that urgency. We don't feel that again. And so then all of a sudden that hour is gone. We don't put it in our schedules. Okay. This is all coming from things that I have learned. Okay. So those are my big truths and lies, is you are your own boss, and this is a hobby, and I choose my hours, right? Because if we really did and we really commit, they are all truths, but they also can be lies and excuses. Okay, let's see. So we're all busy. I'm busy. I'm busy as crap. I'm busy. I'm over my president of the children in my church. That's how busy I am. I'm over 50 kids. So every Sunday I was at church from 7 a.m. until 12:30. I was at church for 5.5 hours on Sunday. Anyway, all in the service of God, which props. Okay. So we all are busy. We all are chaotic. Okay. But we all do these time wasters. I call them time wasters. My mother-in-law called them time wasters, and I got it from her. These are things, and they might be different for you, but for us, it's watching TV, scrolling social media, that's not furthering your business. So anything that's not furthering your business is a time waster, basically. Or like, you know, playing video games or things that you have to do, right? Playing video games, or this is a big one for me, and I call it a time waster because I get so wrapped around it that I can't like focus, is I actually just don't start. Like sometimes I think, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do my business. And I start like answering all the emails, and I start like going into my email, and I'm like, oh, James got an email from a teacher, and I've got to like email them back. And this happens, and I've got to do this, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like working, but I'm not furthering my business.
So it's like multitasking, not following your list.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm doing all these things, and then after my 2 hours and my kids come in and say, quiet time's over, my like a little alarm went off. I was like, oh crap, I did not do what I was supposed to. And now we're supposed to like go to the dog park, you know? And so when it is time to work, you've got to focus and do that. Okay. So that is also a time waster, you know, make that time to do those other things. But when you make that time for your business and you've written it in your schedule, make sure you do it. Okay. Let's see. I was talking to one of my coaches. So I haven't actually implemented this, but I think it's fantastic. Okay. Is we need to be a little bit more accountable, and we need to feel a little bit more urgency in the income and the expenses of this business. So if you actually want to make money, you need to know where your money is going. So yes, we, you know, pay for Shakeology every month. We have our member fee. Then we have event fees, and we have, you know, all of these things. The flight to Florida for the diamond retreat, you know, all these things. And we want our business to cover that. I mean, I don't want to go into my husband's salary and be like, hi, so remember how like I got us into this and I want to go do this thing. So far I have made, you know, I have covered all of those things, but I know as new coaches, it can be like, oh, now I'm paying for this. Oh, now I'm paying for this. Oh, now I'm paying for this. Well, have some urgency to be like, I'm not going to let my husband, my spouse, my partner, my significant other, my parents, or whatever, cover those costs. I am going to cover those costs with Beachbody. And if that's signing up people commission at the beginning, that's great. If that's training new coaches and building your team, that's fantastic. But you have to have an account. So I'm going to make my account just a Beachbody account. So my income is coming in. And if I have no income, then I can't continue my, you know, my expenses. Now, this is really good for me because I love this stuff. Like, I love the conferences. It totally fires me up. It gets my business going. It gets me going. I love Shakeology. I just bought like the entire performance line because I'm going to kill it. These muscles are going to be like twice as big in 8 weeks. And I told my husband, I'm like, you're doing it too. And so I paid for a performance line, and we'll see how long it lasts for both of us. But there are only 4 workouts a week. So I think maybe, you know, who knows how long it's going to last. But I want to pay for this business. You know, I want to pay for this. And so if we have our own, if I have my own account, then yes, I'm going to do the classic next year with you. I don't know, actually. I don't know. That actually.
No, she just said it. It's recorded. It's recorded.
Ooh, this got me like really super nervous.
Woo. Okay, that's happening. As you were saying,
it might not. I don't know. Yep. Who knows? Woo! Okay, I'm going to like turn red. Just got really, really, really flustered. I'm like 6 feet tall, like that. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. Focus. So don't waste time. Make income and like make your own account for expenses and your income to hold you more accountable. Okay. If it's going to hurt you, don't do it. Okay. But you want to hold yourself as high as you possibly can, because that's what's going to make you, like this month, be the best that you can be. Okay. If your boss expects the bar down here, you're going to punch in that clock, sit around, and punch out. Okay. If your boss expects you to be up here and expects your team to be up here in your work, then you have to fit this bar or else you're fired. Same thing. So sometimes I have to make these scenarios for myself. Like Marie says, she likes to hit Success Club 10 in the middle of the month, right? So she holds that bar that she's hitting that Success Club 10, and she's going to help 5 people by the middle of the month so that she creates that urgency, okay? So we want to hold that bar as high as we can go, all right? So if you're a brand new coach and you're like, okay, I am going to invite every day for the whole month. I don't care how many challengers I get. I don't care if I help one single person. I'm going to do my invites every day, and that's all. And if I do it, I'm like Melanie Mitro, top coach of the year, okay? Because we're all in our own chapter on this journey, okay? So don't compare Bailey Kai to Valerie Nelson, to Kerri Schmidt, and all of these people, because we're all in different journeys. We all have different lives, and we all have different chaos that we're trying to deal with, right? So hold your bar. Do those things that is going to make your boss inside hold you up to the highest you can be every day. Okay? Well, that reminds me, I do take a day off, and I think it's really important. Totally off. And that is 100% up to you. But on Sunday, if you message me, I'm not there. My story's totally blank. Sometimes I will like post a picture of me and my family going to church and being like, Family Day Sunday. I don't post anything. I am off social media. I don't scroll it because that's a time waster for me. And because when I'm on social media now, I am business. But I have to have a no business day. If I'm going to stay consistent this other 6 days, I have to be no nothing that day. That's totally up to you, but that's my boss telling me that's what I've got to do. Okay, the next thing I do is I double up wherever I can. Okay, so I'm a chauffeur. I'm like a professional chauffeur these days. And I'm taking my kids to swim everything and football everything and drama camp everything. And I drop them off, and then I have to stay there. I can't go anywhere. Or if I do go somewhere, then it's like half hour back home. And then I've got to sit there for 45 minutes and then get the half hour back. It's ridiculous. And so I'm dragging my 4-year-old everywhere, but she's got her books. She's got her iPad of educational stuff and Netflix. And I've got my phone. We have our phones everywhere. We can do business everywhere. And so in my schedule, I kind of love the swim team days because I know if I get them there on time, I get to be on at 7:30 in the morning till 9:30 in the morning, and they don't get out of the pool, and the coach has them until 9:30. So I've got those 2 amazing hours. And if I can get Katie going where she needs to go, like, it's legit 2 hours. Now, if another mom talks to me, I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, here's my phone, yeah, that's so cool, I don't really care, I don't want to care about you right now because this is my work time, right? I do try to be super friendly and nice, but then it like shoots me in the foot. So I do really love to double up. And so look for those opportunities in your life because we all have them. You know, like Marie always says, I don't know if you guys listen to some of her trainings, but she says, like, I just did 5 invites and I was standing in the grocery line, you know, like things like that. If you don't have kids, grocery shopping is like ridiculously easy. And if you are in that grocery line, you can do those invites. Grocery line for me and my zoo is like, stop touching. No, don't eat that. I haven't paid for that. So I can't do those 5 invites. But if you don't have kids, do it. Okay, so double up. Find those opportunities to double up. Oh, as I say that though, at the end of the day, you've got to have 5, 10, 20 minutes where you recap every conversation that you've had and you write down the people who are interested. You've got to have that. If you check out tomorrow, you're not going to remember Sally DeFord or whatever their name is that was semi-interested and you're going to check back in. So if you're doing all these double ups like I do and you don't have your laptop in front of you, you don't have your paper in front of you, you have to take those 5, 10 minutes, scroll through your messages and write down those people or else you're going to forget them. So important, okay, when you're doubling up. Okay. Okay, so double up when you can. But when you are doing family time, no beach body. Okay? So whoever your family is, if it's Kerri and Craig and their dog, cat, little house, RV, car, whatever, you take that time and it is just you and your little family. You can't, if the ding comes on, you can't do it. If this is your time to be your little family, you have to do it or else your family will hate Beachbody. It will hate it. Okay? So by that regard, at that same time, I tell my kids, now they're old enough, they understand. Even my 4-year-old understands a little bit, but I have an 11-year-old and I tell them, you know why you can do all these extracurricular things? You know why we do all these fun things? We can go and get you guys a Slurpee sometimes is because I'm making some extra money and I'm able to help other people. So if you allow me to do these hours in the morning, these hours in the afternoon, these hours in the evening, and you're good and you guys aren't fighting and being little monsters, then we can do these fun things. We can go to the mini golf, you know, because then we're not taking dad's money. We're just taking mine. And mom is a servant to everyone. But they understand it. They get it. And sometimes I will even like pass my phone and I get a message from somebody and it's a great message because we all get them that are like, this has changed my life. Thank you so much. I don't have acid reflux anymore. I'm able to sing this entire role because I talk to a lot of singers, or like I can get up and down on the stage so much easier. I just feel like I'm so strong. You know, all these things. We get these things. and I pass it over to them and I say, read this, because this is why I do this. And they get it. Maybe not my 4-year-old, but they get it. They understand it. And sometimes they say, Mom, what are you doing? And they love to be a part of my stories now. They love it because they know that people need to see who I am to trust me first. And for them to see me, they have to see my children, because my children are my chaos. They are, you know? So let your loved ones, your friends, your family in. Let them in on your dreams and your goals, even if they're little. And even if it's, you know what, I'm going to do 10 invites every day for the rest of the month. And that's 2 weeks. I've got 2 weeks. I'm going to do it every day for the rest of the month. And if I can do that, let's go get our nails done. And I'll take my little 4-year-old and we'll go get our nails done. And she'll know why we get to have nail time, because, and I don't do my nails, I'm just making this up, but we go do other things. But, you know, she knows why we get to do that time is because she allowed Mom to do those 10 invites every month. Every day, not every month. Don't do 10 invites a month. You won't get anywhere. Okay. Okay, so does that make sense?
I'm like, every day.
I'm imagining all my likes coming up.
You are amazing, girl. You have totally earned your place as Wonder Woman 2 on our team.
Thank you. I will be the OG because Megan's awesome. Huh?
We've got the OG Wonder Woman, but you are totally Wonder Woman 2. You have earned that. You are amazing, and I feel so super motivated. Guys, is there, like, I'm gonna go ahead and open it up for questions. Okay. Any questions, especially if you're new, ask things. Lisa.
Often thought about trying to reach to musicians. And when I do that, I don't know if you ever have the problem with the crafty people. How do you reach them? I don't know if it's because I'm both a jock and a musician, so I can speak to both worlds. But when you try to put the jock into the musician, I don't know if that gets cut off somewhere. Do you have any tips for reaching to the musicians themselves?
Okay, so I'm an opera singer. And so a lot of musicians that I talk to are on the road. And so I talk to them. And as an opera singer, our instruments are our body. And so even as a voice teacher, I ask my kids to do yoga and to breathe right, like learn how to breathe right, learn how to breathe with your diaphragm. And so I use a lot of athletic talk in my teaching already. And because I did play volleyball and basketball in high school, and so I am like a jock as well. And I started out as a jock before I was a singer, and I started out as a cellist. So I do talk a lot to singers about, and singers understand that their bodies are their instruments. Singers also have a lot of issues with acid reflux, and what they're eating really affects their throat. And so Shakeology is amazing because it helps digestion and all those blends and adaptogens and everything like that. It has really, really helped a lot of people with their energy, with their mood swings, and with their acid reflux. And so that's what I talk to them about. As opera singers, we're always on the road. And so it's really hard for people to have a gym membership. And so then they get to do these, they go to a hotel gym. And so there's weights and stuff, but they just get unmotivated. And it's really hard to be by yourself on the road. And so the community is amazing for opera singers. And the fact that they're really exercising their bodies and really learning how to use their bodies as an athlete as well as a singer is amazing. So that's kind of what I talk to them about. I have tried to reach out to some instrumentalists, and it's just a little bit different because instrumentalists, and I am one, I play the cello, hide behind their bodies, hide behind their instrument. And I don't say that as anything except for they don't think about their like if they're sick, they still get to play their instrument. Whereas as a singer, if you're sick, you don't get a paycheck. So does that help?
Yeah, that does. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I would like, I'm not an opera singer, but I like would love to sign up with you. I'm convinced already. Like,
you want to buy a challenge pack?
Yeah, any other questions, guys? That was a great question, Lisa. I was curious what tracking system you use. Like you said that if you're doing things on the go, you have to take that like 5 minutes to write down the names, and that's so amazing because I definitely have struggled with, like, if I'm not sitting down with my notebook, I tend not to open the messages because I'll forget to respond. So what system do you use? A certain system to like put those names in, or?
Yep, let me show you. Share screen. I do it all on Google Docs. So I can get to with my phone if I want to. But here we go. Now you guys see, here's my Sunday totally blank. But this is my invites. These are the people. So if you guys invite these people, then we've invited the same. So this is my tracking sheet. And then I have another sheet. Oh yeah, this is my little XXX. This is what I'm gonna do, XXX. This is what I do at the end of the day. So I know that I've done these things because I am unfocused. That's a response. Oh, let me think. Where is I'll have to go in here. I have a tracking sheet for those that are interested. Okay, interested people. And so I just do it all on Google Docs so that I have the apps and stuff on my phone. So like these are all my Lift 4 people that are doing it with me this month. These are my to be mindset. I just need to see my people, whether or not I can see them in my back office or not. I just need to see them. These are the ones that are still with me. Like these are new or with me. And then these are my, in July, these are my, where did I hear this from? Brooke Reed always told me she has 10 in play. So these are like my essentially 10 in play. Like they're my lukewarm to like super warm people. And so like this Stephanie Irvin, I just sent a share a cart to. So I have my people, and at the end of the day, I just keep adding them on. And then I just move them over. Like I just moved over, who was in her place? Janelle Edwards. She needed the to be mindset, and it's going to be fantastic for her. I'm super excited. So yeah, that's what I do. Is that what you were looking for?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was just looking because I think all of us use different systems. And if you are using the business activity tracker in the Getting Started Right call, obviously you can take that and put it into a Google Doc or something like that so that you can track over time to see how consistent you're being. There's pretty good statistics out there that kind of show if you're inviting 5-6 days a week and you're not just inviting but following the business activity tracker, that's not just something that I pulled out my butt. Like those are things that if you do these activities on the daily, for a month, you will probably hit Success Club, right? Like that's how that goes. You'll probably be able to change at least 3 to 5 lives, and then it compounds over time. So the people that she's inviting, the more you're consistent this month, that's really going to help you the most in 2 months. Because sometimes it takes time for people to follow you and get excited about what you're doing. And so, yeah, when I'm really, really consistent in May, it pays off this time of year. And all of a sudden I have all these people who are finally ready.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that I think is really, really crucial before we end this call is you have got to be excited. You've got to be excited about the journey you're on, about the journey that's coming up, about the challenge group that's coming up. You have to have a start date for your challenge group. It can't just be soon. You want to join me sometime soon? You know, you have to have a start date. And so every day I have to be excited about my journey. And if I'm eating a donut and I'm like, oh yeah, the nutrition plan is freaking awesome and I lost 20 pounds, but I'm going to gain it all back right now because I'm eating my feelings and I'm not feeling this program, then how can you be helping somebody? Right? So it's really important to find your fire. And if that's personal development, if that's working out, I mean, it's all those things. You need to be doing all those things. Okay, I'm done.
You are amazing. Let me just double check. Yes. Okay, so we, if you guys are like invisible, if we're just seeing your screen, if you guys can get back on here so I can see all your beautiful faces. We end every team call with showing some love to our speaker. So thank you so much. If you guys can hold up hearts, I'm holding the phone, so I'm not going to be able to hold it. I'll do a peace sign. But if you guys can get your faces. Yep. Yep. I don't see some of you still. Come on, let me see your faces. Oh, we got another one. Hold it. Ah. Yeah, I got you, Lisbeth, dude. Okay. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for giving us your Monday night. I know this hour of your time was really valuable. If you are good to go, you are good to go, and you can go ahead and get off the call, Valerie. I appreciate the shit out of you, man. Thank you for leading this for us. You did wonderful.